The Fallout Season 2 trailer has finally dropped, and it's given us Fallout fans, definitely the fans of New Vegas, something that we've always wanted. A better look at the Mojave. And we're going to see pretty much Mr. House in his prime, the Lucky 38, pumping and full of lights. And as well, you get to see some of the creatures, which is definitely a Radscorpion, which, you know, in the game you would have kept away from, but they're really cool how they made him in this show. Now, as a long-time Fallout fan and a very big fan of the New Vegas game, to see this trailer really got me hyped up, and I thought, might as well break it down. So let's get stuck into this bad boy. Right away, the first big reveal that you got to see in the trailer was, of course, New Vegas. And it was pretty cool to see that the first flick that you get to see was, of course, how we really seen it in the video games, and then the second flick you get to see was Mr. House alive and pumping and the whole strip lit up like it should have been. Now, in the actual game, the New Vegas was meant to be set in the 1950s, or it was set for the 1950s look anyway, and that's how they set it up. But we never actually really got to see it in its prime other than a couple of flashbacks, and to actually see it in its prime was really awesome to see. And even better, they brought along some of the game characters, which is Victor. Now, everyone would have remembered him as the robot that was rolling around at the start, trying to help you out and lead you to the Vegas Strip. And then, you know, I just can't help but wonder if, you know, as Lucy and the girl are going into the Vegas Strip, if, you know, in the background we might get to see maybe Benny pop up, because, yeah, if you've actually played the game, you know all about Benny and who he actually is in the game. And he's a pretty nasty little character who shot the courier at the start and pretty much kicked off the whole story for Fallout New Vegas. Now, one of the coolest little flashbacks and a bit of the lore that I got to see through this trailer breaking it down was we actually get to see flashes of the Battle of Anchorage. Because the girl, or Cooper Howard's character, actually served in the Battle of Anchorage, and in all the Fallout games, you only really heard about it, or in the Fallout 3, you got a little like flashback scene where you got to see a little bit of it. And I've always been interested in the Battle of Anchorage because it's something that you've heard in all the Fallout games but never actually seen. And that was apparently where they first ever got to use the T-45 power armor. So yeah, it'd be really cool to see what they do with the Battle of Anchorage. Now, one of the coolest sections, which I spent a lot of time playing around, was Freeside. And it seems like in this one you get to see a lot of Freeside. I seen in the trailer that Walter Goggins' player, or character, the ghoul, actually got kicked out of the window and it looked like he was at the Atomic Wrangler, which again was located in Freeside. But not just that, you get to see the other casinos as well. Like the Gomorrah, I'm pretty sure you get to see that bad boy, and of course the Lucky 38 fully lit up, which, you know, not a lot of us ever really got to see, or you actually did get to see, I'm pretty sure, in Fallout New Vegas. They never had any flashbacks of that. And of course that was when Mr. House was inside in his little cryo chamber and you only got to see a little shriveled up body. So to see Mr. House in person as well would be really cool, and how he acts. And before we get off the subject of Freeside, there's another little thing in the trailer that was, you had to really slow it down and check this bad boy out and actually look at the characters. And it seems like Lucy and the Ghoul and Freeside actually run into the Kings, which if you play the game was a gang pretty much that sort of tried to resemble themselves as Elvis, and that's how they dressed up. And if you actually played the game, that was where you got one of the other coolest companions in the game, Rex, and you got him off the leader of the gang, the King. And a very famous location that of course was in the game that everyone will know that I got to see in the trailer was actually Novac. And you actually get to see the big concrete dinosaur in the background. And it has me curious to wonder if we're actually going to see the person or the companion that was in the game, Craig Boone. Now, I've got to say, in my opinion, playing the game, Craig Boone was one of the best companions you could have, because he was a sniper, he was very aggressive, and he pretty much didn't like the Legion, which is another thing we'll get into near the end of the video. But yeah, the trailer doesn't give really that much about Novac, but the little flashes you do get to see, it seems like it's pretty much set up like it was with the little hotel, the pool that's empty, and the dinosaur. But it'd be really interesting to see what characters they brought over from the game to see if they're actually the same that, you know, run Novac. Now, we all know that the creatures out of New Vegas were pretty deadly and insane, especially if you're just starting off. There were a lot of creatures that you wanted to stay away from. But in this trailer we got to see in Vault 31, it seemed like they were getting attacked by a lot of Radroaches. And I just love how this is one of the shows that have actually adapted the game and the show really well, when most of the time they sort of stuff up and don't really want to pick too many apart, but Borderlands happens to be one of them. But also a real quick flash, and I'll actually show it. I don't care what happens, I'm going to show it. where you actually get to see a proper Radscorpion. And yeah, in the game, a Radscorpion was something that you avoided pretty much until you were a higher level, because you know it was going to poison you and take you out. But that's not just the best thing. The last thing that you get to see in the trailer happens to be a Deathclaw. Now that is something that is epic and was one of the first things you got to see in New Vegas if you didn't follow the right track and went off into the quarry. And it seemed that like this Deathclaw actually looked like it was blind, and I know that in the quarry there was a blind Deathclaw that you stayed away from because she could track you anywhere. But it's cool to see how they're really bringing over the game characters and the game creatures into the actual show. And it'll be really interesting to see how they get away from this Deathclaw, because it looks like they don't really want to fight it and they want to run away.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Now, of course, we get to see the Brotherhood of Steel in this one, and it seems like that the original person from the series that was, you know, sort of messing up the Brotherhood of Steel, he's found himself a new friend, and it seems like they brought down one of the big motherships and running off into the desert. So I'm not too sure how that's going to turn out, because if you did play the game, you know that there were Brotherhood of Steel in New Vegas, but they were located in the Hidden Valley region. So I'm wondering if, you know, we're going to see a little bit of those Brotherhood of Steel if they link up together, or, you know, go hunting their defectors. And again, one of the coolest features was how they're crossing over the gangs from New Vegas into the actual show, because it seems like we actually got to see a little bit of Kaiser's Legion. And if you've played the game, they were, depending on how you play the game or thought, they could either been your friend or your foe, and they weren't really the nicest of people, and they really just went through and did whatever they wanted and just killed anything they wanted. And normally when I was playing the game, I really liked them as a foe because they just pop up randomly and attack you. But they had their very distinctive suits and what they wore and the colours that they had, and you definitely get to see the Kaiser's Legion in this show. And it seems like Lucy might have accidentally been captured by them, so I wonder if Mr. Ghoul is going to come in and, you know, slay some Kaiser just to get her out. The Fallout Season 2 seems like it's going all out for what fans have been wanting for. New Vegas, the Mojave, creatures, Kaiser's Legion, and of course Walter Goggins returning as the Ghoul. And I've got to admit, he is one of my favourite actors in the world, and seeing him as the Ghoul, I think it's one of his best characters that he's ever portrayed. And yeah, as a person that still plays New Vegas to this day, I'm very excited about this and very hyped up. But what do you guys think at home? Are we going to come across Benny, Boone, or are we going to have a big old showdown with the Kaiser's Legion? Drop it down in the comments and let me know what you think. And just quickly, I'd just like to thank everyone that supported me for liking and watching my videos. I appreciate it, and I'm going to keep making videos. I love it. Anyone that's new that's watching that's made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe jump over to my page. You might like some of my other videos. And as usual, I'll catch you on the next one.